be able to do this presentation, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support for Leadership Global and just what you have built and really giving women, especially, the opportunity to have access to the right tools to help them get to the next level. So without further ado, I'm going to start my presentation. I hope you guys are excited. And I'm kind of one of those people, I love it to be like fun and funny. So forgive me if I get a little kind of goofy and make some jokes here and there, but hopefully today will be fun, impactful, edutainment mixed in with a lot of amazing information. So today we're going to unlock the playbook of big brands, leveraging strategy and thriving in an ever-evolving market. So um, this presentation is brought by my book that I have coming up called Brandtastic Voyage, as well as our conference that we have coming up called the WOW Conference and our agency, LOI Agency. So we're going to talk about several things today. So marketing, branding, as well as we're going to do a little activity. We're going to have a Q&A session, and we're going to really get into the power of branding. So I don't know how many of you guys, if you can type in the chat, have seen this movie. It is right now showing on Netflix. If you have not seen it, I would encourage you to see it because it has a very powerful lesson in the difference of just selling a product or service or leveraging off of a brand. So, how many people kind of in the chat, and I'm not sure how many have seen it, but if you can wave your hand like, hey, I've seen it, because I can't really look at the chat. So if you've seen it, kind of wave your hand. Okay. If you haven't, I do definitely encourage you to go and watch this movie called The Founder. Not to, do the spoiler alert, but Ray Kroc is known as the founder of McDonald's. But the interesting story is that he's not the creator of McDonald's. There were two brothers called the McDonald's brothers that actually started McDonald's. But if you watch that movie, not to say too much, what you will see in that movie is that the brothers saw McDonald's as a finely tuned service, but Ray Kroc saw McDonald's as a worldwide brand. And for with what I do, I've gotten a chance to be blessed to work with Fortune 500 companies, huge brands, but I've also got to work with startups, and I've got to see uh, a lot of my clients go from startups to multi-million dollar empires, and truly, really being able to know the power of branding has helped them go to the next level. And we're going to go deeper into that. So, what is the power of building a brand? First of all, every big company that we see out there, whether it is McDonald's, Chanel, Google, Amazon, FedEx, whatever you see, Disney, they all know these principles when it comes to leveraging off of a big brand. Number one, having your branding together builds trust and loyalty. It makes you stand out in the market so that when people look at you, they know it's you. It drives long-term growth. And it also increases your business's value when you invest in your brand. All big brands know this. Okay. So, unlocking the playbook of the big brands. A lot of small to medium-sized business owners tend, when they're shopping for someone to do their branding or their marketing, they tend to go the route of, okay, let me find what is the cheapest, let me find who's closer, and it's usually let me find what I can afford and things like that. And most, I will say, branding and marketing agencies tend to give generic branding, meaning that not all, but a lot of them tend to give generic branding. They'll tell you things like, hey, it worked for Jim, it worked for Joe, and now take this formula that worked for them and see if it works for you. All big brands, they have finely tailored suited branding. Their brand is not built on the success of someone else's. Can they admire another brand? Yes, but they have their own unique, finely tailored system of brand strategy that helps them to scale to the next level. All of my successful clients that have stuck with that system have seen the same amount of growth that big brands have. Just the same way they scale, it's the same system. So, what sells? Is it the product or is it the brand? And I tell people it's a little bit of both. But if you were to say which one is stronger, it's truly the brand. Right here, we clearly see two cups of coffee. We got a cup of Joe, and then we got Starbucks. That mermaid, which a lot of people don't even know it's a mermaid, but that mermaid is known worldwide. Why is that? Because Starbucks did something that is very different from a lot of other brands that sell coffee. They sold their brand and then they allowed the leverage of selling their brand sell their coffee. It is important as a business owner to know the difference. If you don't know, like if we went to the store and we're going to go buy something, and because someone said, hey, it's good to go and buy a shoe, and you're getting ready for a race that you're going to run, and they say, hey, you need to get shoes. Shoes are so important when you're running a race. And then you go to the store and you go and buy high heels, or you go to the store and you go and buy sandals. If you're running a race, you need a specific type of shoe. You need to know how it works. You need to know how to shop. The reason why I say this is because a lot of people who are buying branding and marketing services kind of know in general, I need branding, I need marketing, but they really don't know the difference. And they're still running in a race. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of knowledge on the difference between marketing and branding. So, branding is your who, meaning that that is your long-term strategy that is shaping the perception of your business. That's not just your logo. That's not just your uh, the way your colors look or your brick and mortar location alone. That is everything that comes together to make who you are as a brand, from your values to the way people greet customers if you have a brick and mortar location, to the way you present, to how your products look, how they're positioned. Everything about that is your who, and your who is your brand. So if you look at a company like, and just using this one hypothetically, like Amazon. Amazon sells a lot of products, but one thing we know about their brand is that they thrive on customer service faster. We're the fastest. We get it to you. We have a wide range of products. We started off with books, but now we're going to everything. So with their brand, it is built off of serving a customer. As a small to medium-sized business owner, you need to know who your brand is. If your brand does not have a who, that is a good way to kind of determine whether you truly have a brand foundation. Does it have a who? The next is marketing. Marketing is your push, meaning that once you have your who or your what, I would say your who or your what, but who, and I'm going to explain to you why who is very important. Once you have that, now your marketing is your push. That's from your PR, that's from social media, that's from a billboard, that's from a commercial. All those things that help people get to know your brand, vehicles to which people get to know your brand, whether it's a sponsorship at an event, whether it's a flyer that you pass out. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever tactics you are using to drive brand awareness and vehicles to get to meet your clientele. These are all These are all comprised within the term marketing. If you have marketing and you don't have branding, you're pushing something, but it's not a what. And I use this analogy a lot. Um, Most small to medium-sized business owners don't know that big businesses leverage off of, actually, let me say it like this. Imagine we're getting apples from the store. Okay. There's many ways to get apples. You can go to the store to get apples. You can have an apple tree to get apples. You can get apples mainly in those two ways. You have your own apple tree or you go to the store to go and buy your apples. If you go to a store to go and buy your apples, you are at the mercy of whatever the store has. If they don't have, let's say you're looking for Red Delicious apples. They don't have it, you don't have it. If you're looking for Granny Smith or, I think that's the name, but if you're looking for green apples or, whatever you're looking for, if they don't have it, you don't have it either. Then you have people who have apple trees. They grow their own apples, they can pick it, and then their apples now can produce seeds to grow other apples. And they have things set up to grow apple trees. I would say that is the difference between how big brands invest in branding and marketing versus a lot of startups and newer businesses invest in branding and marketing. They don't allow themselves to be at the mercy of the grocery store, meaning that they are creating a system in-house that allows for them to have their own apples, the ones that they need at any time that they need it. That's why if you see a lot of big businesses, big companies, they have in-house marketing and branding teams. They have strategists in-house. Why? Because those strategists, those branding and marketing teams that are in their businesses are working tirelessly to make sure that that machine of a brand is always running and always helping them to scale. They are constantly changing things within their marketing strategy to make sure that they can leverage off of trends, to make sure that they can leverage off of all the things that are going on, whether it's, something going on in society, or maybe there's a holiday coming up. They are tirelessly working to make sure that the apples that are produced are going to help them to meet their needs. And I suggest when you are thinking of marketing and branding, think that same way. Think, hey, I need to make sure I have a what. And here's another thing I would say many small to medium-sized businesses forget is that they forget to remember that if I don't have what I'm pushing, I'm just pushing. And we're going to talk about uh, waste and principles of branding. So I'm going to keep going. So I want to kind of breeze past this to get to the nitty-gritty. Whatever you're selling, it's going to be hard for you to create a brand that you're not confident in. I have seen people sell me stuff that they don't want. And guess what? People know. They know when you're not confident in your brand. So be confident in what you're selling and invest in it. Another thing is if you want to scale fast, solve a problem. If you want to know a business that's going to do well, solve a problem. That is the fastest way to success. If you can think of your brand or your business as something that is helping to solve a problem, even how you talk about it is going to be different. And how you take time to brand that you are the solution is going to change the game for your business. Okay, these are some examples of some successful brands. I'm sure just even looking at the logo, you already know who they are. And these are great examples of even the Kardashians. I know they're people, but they are still, regardless of how you feel about them, they are leveraging off of their brand that they're creating within their family, and they're using that as a means to sell products and services. So, how do you create, what's a principle in creating an effective brand consistency? I cannot tell you how many just dear business owners I bump into where their website looks different from their business card, and then the fonts on their flyer look like everything's kind of all over the place. And they're wondering why they're spending so much more money on marketing, They're spending money on websites. Websites, yeah, it's a part of your brand, but it's a marketing vehicle. Flyers, business cards, standing brand, it doesn't matter what it is. If you don't have consistency within it, you're cutting yourself at the knees because now no one's going to remember you, which brand consistency allows you to be remembered. Next thing is you need a brand guide. You need to be able to let people know who are working with you, even if you outsource. I've worked for companies as a contractor. I wasn't even when for example, even McDonald's is a great example. I worked as a contractor. I had their colors, I had their fonts, I knew what the language was. All those things, they gave me a comprehensive guide so that when I was being creative, I was creative within their brand, within their guidelines. You need that for your business to keep that consistency. Another thing is your story. Who in here knows who this man is? Okay. A lot of us know who he is far beyond the chicken that we know he has become famous for, but also his story. He started his business over the age of 60 when most people retired. He was literally a man who, on paper, did not have the qualifications to achieve what he achieved. But to this day, even in his death, he is still inspiring people to keep going. You have a story just like that inside of you. People need to hear it. That's a part of what is going to help your brand become what it's going to be tomorrow. Okay, another key to unlocking a powerful part of big brands is spend where customers and investors respond. This is very important. I can't tell you how many small businesses do not, they want to leave a legacy, but they do not leave a legacy. Why? Because they don't build their businesses or their brands in a way that customers remember or that investors would want to buy. Investors, one of the key things that they look for when it comes to whether they want to buy your business or not is how have you invested in your brand? The more branded you are, the more they want to say, hey, I want that. Hey, I want to invest in you. Same thing with customers. If they don't know you, but they see that you've invested in your brand, the presentation, they assume that the product has that much love and care. So when you are investing, think how and where my customers and investors are responding. Another thing, there's a difference between how a big brand, someone who actually is thinking like a big brand versus someone who is not. Big brand is thinking how effective something is. A lot of small to medium sized business owners are thinking how much is it? When it comes to how they think about branding, big brands are thinking, how effective is this going to be? How's this marketing campaign going to affect me? How is putting my billboard here versus there? How is this commercial going to affect me? How is sponsoring this event? They're thinking how effective it is. They're not always thinking price. Lots of small to medium sized business owners, they're going cheaper. You have to be able to think effective. Don't think cost first. Think, is it effective? And if it's effective, then you can start to analyze cost. But the first thing you have to answer is it effective? Next is, what does it cost? What is the cost of not investing in your brand? And this is very important. Uh, Missed revenue and sales opportunities on average between 50,000 and 500K with most small to medium sized businesses. Uh, High customer acquisition cost, meaning it costs you more to get clients because you're not able to leverage off of your brand. Nobody remembers you. So you have to spend a lot on ads. You have to spend a lot on commercials. You have to spend a lot on being in the right rooms and all those things. Why? Because nobody remembers you. So you get there, spend a lot of money to be in the highest of positions, but guess what? You're not able to leverage if people don't remember your brand. So it costs you a lot more to acquire new customers. The next thing, inconsistent messaging across channels uh, does a 20 to 30% decrease in customer retention, meaning that When you are inconsistent on your, like I was talking about before, your business cards, your website, your, flyers that you put out, whatever it is, when you're inconsistent, it is costing you a decrease in customer acquisition, which again is a huge, huge missed opportunity. And then here I would say is the number one, not having strategic branding and marketing spending. That wastes probably the most money in most small to medium-sized businesses. They waste between an average of 100,000 to, excuse me, 10,000 to 100,000 per year. And let me show you where this waste is. You have ineffective social media, ineffective PR, ineffective ads that you're putting out, ineffective flyers that you can't use. You don't have, maybe you're wasting money on the wrong types of marketing and branding because you saw, okay, person A, did a standing banner. That means I need to do a standing banner. Person B did a billboard, then I need to do a billboard. Person C did all these Facebook ads, and I need to do that. This is why having strategy is the best thing you can do for yourself because you know what you need to spend on based on how your company grows, based on how you, what works for you. And that's something that we're very passionate about in our team and in our business is to make sure people have finely tailored suits. That wastage comes from not having a finely tailored suit or not being able to leverage off of your brand. The next thing, okay, we're going to do this activity. So I hope you guys can come along with me and do this. Okay. We're going to see how good your branding eye is, and we're going to brand a pretend company right now. So if everybody can look at the screen, we're going to now brand a company called Posh Coffee. Posh Coffee is a small business. They're looking to, they have this amazing coffee recipes and they're wanting to be as big, if not bigger than Starbucks, and they want to be the next big name in coffee. Okay. They now are working with a company and they get three variations of a logo. Which do you think a big brand would choose? And you can put it in chat. Would you choose for your coffee company logo number one, logo number two, or logo number three? And I'll give you about 30 seconds to put your answer. Okay? Or 10 seconds. Okay, everybody has their answer? Great. I'm going to tell you big brands would know immediately which one they would pick. And I'm going to tell you, drum roll please, the answer is logo number three. And the reason why it's logo number three, I don't know if you guys noticed, logo number three is the easiest to brand. Why? It's one color, bold font, can easily be translated on multiple platforms and still recognized. This is the power of investing in a good logo. I tell you, I can't tell, I mean, I can tell you, I cannot tell you, I can't tell you that I cannot tell you how many businesses have gone cheap on the logo and everything else that they invest in kind of goes downhill from there. Because every time they slap that very interesting logo on things, it is hard to be remembered, or even worse, they remember you for the wrong reasons. And they're like, oh, I don't want to touch it. This is what happens when you take that a great logo concept and now add a guide. Now we have fonts that we're dealing with. Now we have colors that are staying consistent. If you don't have that, get it, because this is going to save you a lot of time and money. And this is another important thing, logo variations. You need to have logo variations. If you do not have logo variations, you are costing yourself a lot of money. Every big brand has at least 3 to 4 logo variations. At bare minimum, you need two. You need to be able to have and I call it a mini logo. People have different, names for it, but you need a small version of your logo that is like your stamp that people recognize you as. It is also your fave icon for your website. You need to have a miniature version. If you only have one logo, you're already not thinking like a big brand. So get different logo variations. If your logo is not able to become different logo variations, think about redesign. You need to have fonts that you work with. If you don't have fonts, if you don't have color ranges that you work with, you're already going to cost yourself a lot of money because every time you go and print, there is no guide. Um, this is what having logo variations can do. Now, when you have merch, let's say Posh Coffee now wants to make merch, they can use different logo variations. Now they're looking like a big brand. Okay, now I see Posh Coffee in a billboard. Now I remember it because that logo is memorable, and now there's elements around that logo that is helping me remember, oh my goodness, Posh Coffee is delicious. Now the wording, oh, it's chill. Okay, that is now communicating the brand. Also, when I'm seeing ads, movement, video, things like this, what is making your brand come to life? Are you only thinking stagnation? Okay, I have a picture, I have words. People don't read anymore. People decide with their eyes whether they want to give you attention with their brain. They decide with their eyes. They're looking at you to determine whether they want to read with their brain. If they look and they're like, okay, this is interesting, now they want to read. Now we want to find out more. Now we want to research. When you have interesting ads, there's no telling what you can do, from coupons to membership cards, whatever it is, you can do it. So I'm going to show you how we've taken the same formula and used it for some of our businesses. Okay, so those are some stories of what we've done with some small to medium-sized businesses. And now it's time for Q&A time. And I hope I did okay on time. But
That was perfect, Linda.
thank you. Thank you. That's so